Well, it's been talked about and speculated for literal years now at this point, but the Giannis Antetokounmpo situation in Milwaukee might finally be reaching a boiling point. As according to reports, Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent are currently mulling his future in Milwaukee, talking to the Bucks about his future and whether his best fit is staying with them or moving on to a different team, saying that a resolution is expected in the coming weeks.
Malika, sources tell me that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Saratas have started open conversations that are active right now with the Milwaukee Bucks about the realities of whether his future is best staying in Milwaukee or the realities of moving on elsewhere. And my understanding is a resolution to this and whether this could lead to a trade request is expected in the coming weeks. So there's a timeline there. As you said, 9-13 overall. They just lost a 16-point lead to the Washington Wizards on Monday. And I'm told Giannis Antetokounmpo has been frustrated over the recent losing, but so have John Horst, the general manager, Doc Rivers, the head coach. There's been a lot of frustration within that Bucks organization over the losing, and also a sense of tension around the locker room about what this means for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I had one source even tell me and describe the situation as the writing on the wall for what's to come with Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was sold potentially on a championship vision by John Horst and Doc Rivers, returned, recommitted to this team. But this is a situation where this Bucks organization could be faced with serious consequences depending on how the season continues to play out.
Okay.
And well, then for an earlier report from Brian Windhorst of ESPN, he claims that Giannis already did request to be traded. Prior to them making moves this offseason, prior to them waiving and stretching Damian Lillard, prior to them signing Miles Turner, Giannis apparently did request to be traded. And well, now with them being off to a 9-13 start, having a record of 1-5 without him playing and without him on the court, having a negative 11 net rating when he's not on the court, all around looking average at best and definitely not a championship, let alone a top tier contention team, I wouldn't doubt if Giannis does make it official that he does want to move on. I mean, I hate to say it for a small market team like Milwaukee, the team that drafted him and obviously won a championship with him, that being back in 2021, but the fact is that they've not put good talent around him lately. Every move they've tried to make to improve their talent and improve their ability to win a championship with Giannis has utterly and completely failed. Obviously, the Damian Lillard trade, trading the culmination of their championship team with Jrue Holiday, many draft picks, and even parts of their core to get him, that trade failing, and again they waived and stretched Damian Lillard, a move that put nearly $100 million of dead cap on their payroll for the next half decade, therefore limiting them and really hampering them against that first and second apron, part of the new CBA that really does limit every NBA team. On top of that, they traded Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma, a move that's not really paid off that well for them and didn't really do much for them, a move that didn't look great then and doesn't look that great now. Then on top of that, making the signing of Miles Turner this summer, waiving Damian Lillard to do it, and that's not looking like it'll pay off for them. Looking to be a pretty bad contract at this point, even though it's pretty early yet. Simply put, the writing does seem to be on the wall here with it. I think we can all see it and accept it. Now it's time for both Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks to accept it too. And if they eventually do accept it and do come to that conclusion, the question would then be, what team would he be traded to? What team could even make a trade package that the Bucks front office would accept for Giannis? What team would Giannis want to go to? And how would that all look and how might it pan out? Well, that's obviously a very difficult question to answer at this point. Obviously, we have yet to see if he'll actually be traded and if they do come to that conclusion, but if it would come down to it, I think a number of teams would try to trade for him, a 30 going on 31-year-old star player that's currently in the prime of his NBA career, currently averaging 30.6 points per game, nearly 11 rebounds per game, 6.4 assists per game, shooting 63.9% for the field, even a career high for himself, 43.5% from 3. Giannis appears to be at his peak and definitely wants to win an NBA championship, obviously is capable of winning a championship, leading a team to a championship, if they have the right team around him. So again, what team might that be? If you're going to trade for Giannis, you're definitely going to give up a massive trade package. I mean, to simply make the trade work financially, you got to match $54 million of salary this season. So to do that, and if a team like the Lakers try to make a trade for him, or any team for that fact, they would have to dish out a lot of salary to make the trade work. Again, roughly $54 million of salary this season. And for a team like the Lakers, for example, that would mean trading Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, and Maxi Kleber to simply make the trade work financially. Then of course, with draft compensation, having to throw in a first-round draft pick, their only tradable first-round draft pick, that coming in 2031, then probably multiple future first-round draft pick swaps, in which they currently have 4 of them, maybe their only tradable second-round draft pick, maybe even Dalton Connect, and at that point, they don't have much of a team left. I mean, if you're gonna trade a centerpiece of their team like Austin Reeves, I guess you better get a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo in return for him. But if you're gonna trade a majority of their depth, a guy like Hachimura with him, their final tradable first-round draft pick, pretty much every trade asset and draft asset they have left, any one that's actually tradable, I'm not sure they have much of a team left at that point. Having Luka, LeBron, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but do big threes really work in today's NBA? With the new CBA that really limits you from stacking your payroll and having 3 guys take up a majority of your team's payroll, I'm not sure that really works at this point. On top of that, I'm not sure it would be a perfect fit. I think it would be a decent one and definitely could be a lot of fun to watch together. But if Giannis didn't work well, and according to reports didn't really like playing with Damian Lillard that much, a player that's very pick and roll oriented, a very ball dominant player, and then going to a guy like Luka Doncic who is even more ball dominant, even more pick and roll oriented, I'm not sure that would be a great fit. Giannis doesn't really like to play that center role for a team, setting a majority of the picks and playing the roller in the pick and roll game. That's not really what he wants to do and not the best part of his game, which he would have to do a lot of with Luka Doncic. You're not going to play him off the ball and make him a corner 3-point shooter, not even going to put him in the dunker spot and make him watch Luka Doncic all game, or let alone Luka Doncic and LeBron. He's not going to want to do that, and I don't think that would be a great fit between them. Again, I'm not saying it couldn't work. If they wanted to make it work and if they really tried hard to do it, each of them made a few sacrifices offensively, I think they could do it. Defensively, then it would be great to have Giannis behind Luka Doncic, more rim protection, more defensive versatility. Yes, I think that would work and could be a decent fit. It would be fun to pair them, 2 international superstars together on the court, but I'm not sure it's their ideal fit. I think their play styles and the way they like to play more so conflict rather than mesh together perfectly, and then what it would take to get him and building their entire payroll, at least this season, around 3 guys, Luka, Giannis, and LeBron. I'm not sure that would be the best way for them to build a championship team. I'm not sure it would make them a whole lot better in the short term, maybe in the long term with freeing up their payroll and post LeBron maybe, but if you're talking about the short term, even if you're talking about the trade package they have to offer for them, I'm not sure it would be the best route for both them and the Milwaukee Bucks too. Heck, even apart from that, I'm not sure we want to trade Luka's 2 favorite teammates away, both of them or let alone even one of them, trading away Austin Reeves, who has really become his best friend on the team. They mess with each other pretty much every game and following every game during postgame. Definitely are great friends, and that's a good foundational relationship if they want to keep Luka happy long term, which should be their number 1 priority. Then even if you're trading Hachimura, probably his second favorite teammate, and that trio together has been fun to watch off the court, obviously on the court too. I'm not sure I'd want to give all that up for a guy that's again not a perfect fit, would still be fun to watch and think they could work together, but I don't think that would be the best road for them to take. I think down the road there might be a different player that might make a bit more sense to them, somebody that's even a bit closer to the timeline of Luka Doncic. Yes, again, Giannis is not old per se, is about to turn 31, but with him really based more off athletic ability, isn't a great shooter, isn't a guy that's all that finesse, despite being very talented, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure that would be the best fit to go all in on. I'm not worried about him falling off a cliff or anything like that, but going into his mid-30s, I'm definitely not very confident that he'll age like a LeBron per se, a guy that can lean a little bit more on his shot, a little bit more on his post moves rather than simply athletic ability. I'd be a bit worried about that. Definitely worried about the trade package they'd have to give up, worried about dismantling their team, worried about the second apron and the new CBA with that. I'm not sure I'd go that route. So in my opinion, while it might seem fun and might seem fun to try out on NBA 2K, I don't think it will happen, nor I don't think it really should happen in real life. Neither for the Lakers, nor the Milwaukee Bucks either. I mean, if you could somehow find a way to do it without trading Austin, then go ahead and do it. But without Nico Harrison, I don't see it happening. So at that point, probably not going to work out. Though apart from Giannis, if they would trade him and trade him to a different team, the Lakers might be able to get on a post-Giannis Antetokounmpo trade fire sale. I mean, they do have a decent team left over. Guys like Bobby Portis, Gary Trent Jr., Gary Harris, Even some other guys that I probably wouldn't trade for, like Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr., guys like that who are definitely high-end rotation players, if not even very good starters on some teams. I would have some interest in a few of them. I think I'll talk more about that in a different video, maybe a follow-up to this one, maybe tomorrow, but I think if there is the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade, the Lakers might be able to benefit from it, even though it's not directly for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Lakers might be able to benefit from the post-Giannis Antetokounmpo trade landscape, as there might be a fire sale with the Bucks team, maybe to a different team if the third or fourth team get involved, which likely would have to happen in a trade of this magnitude. I think there might be some post-Giannis trade potential for the Lakers to take advantage of. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the Giannis situation in Milwaukee? Do you think they'll finally come to the conclusion that they can't build a team around him and that he doesn't want to stay there with them and wait it out? Do you think a trade will happen? If a trade does happen, what teams do you think would be the best fits for him, and what team could build the best trade package for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day or night.